This is about to be the best Jeju Island vlog you've ever seen, so get ready. After landing, we immediately went to go pick up our rental car and then stopped in town to get some food. This was the best bokki I've ever had. We checked out some of the shops and then headed in for the night. The next morning, we headed straight to Seibo Cafe. We tried some of their amazing pastries and then of course had to explore their iconic pink grass. The pictures I got here were absolutely insane, and we were so lucky our trip ended up being when they were in season. Next, we drove over to the Osolok Tea Museum. This was one of the top things on my Jeju list because I love tea. The place was so cute, and they had this tea cellar where you could go down and smell and sample the different teas. We then headed to their noodle bar to grab some lunch, and here all of their noodles are matcha flavored. And the two that we got were really good. The matcha flavor was super subtle though. We then checked out the Innisfree store that's right next door, and one thing I really like about a lot of these places is that they have stamp stations, which is always such a good souvenir. We then walked through the tea fields and also got some amazing pictures here. The tangerine hats definitely complete the look. And finally, we went to the cafe. We picked up their soft serve that was amazing, and then 2 types of matcha lattes, which were also very good. We then drove over to Suwolbong Peak. Here we just admired the views and walked around a little bit. Jeju has all these little statues everywhere, and my boyfriend was obsessed with them. They're called Dol Harubong. Next, for sunset, we headed over to the Windmill Coastal Road, and we barely made this sunset. We were running just to get these videos, but this place was gorgeous. Then for dinner, Naver Maps took us through this terrible road, but we finally made it to this pork spot that was on my boyfriend's list. They were super short-staffed, but it was all really great. And of course, it's not a Korea trip without trying the 27 cube ice cream cake. Delicious, but way too much ice cream. That ended our night, and then the next morning we woke up and went straight to my boyfriend's hair appointment. He got his first perm ever, and I love it. I then found this matcha spot nearby, so we had to stop. And honestly, this was one of the best matchas I've had throughout my whole entire trip through Japan and Korea. I'm still thinking about it. Afterwards, we drove all the way across the whole entire island just to go to this lunch spot. This place only serves 3 dishes and specializes in champong, which is my boyfriend's favorite dish. These were actually both so delicious, and I see why people wait in line for it. Then we drove over to the Rainbow Road where we got some great pictures and explored some of the shops. Back in town, we stopped at this animal shop with these really funny chameleons and then headed to this restaurant where we got pork again for dinner. This one I enjoyed a little bit more than the last one. And OMG, if you're ever in Jeju, go get this. It was the best thing I've ever had. Bingsu and froyo. And after annihilating that thing, we headed over to this cute little market. They had some food and fun trinkets and also some cute games. We then checked into our next hotel and went to bed. The next morning, we checked out this really cool Starbucks that had these stamp books, grabbed some breakfast, and then headed to the Choncheon waterfalls. This place had 3 different waterfalls that you could walk to explore, a really cool bridge, and then we tried our luck at this fountain where you have to toss the coin to the animal that you want to receive blessings from, and we failed miserably. But this place was really beautiful and had a lot of great buildings to check out. The waterfalls were also definitely worth it. We grabbed some juice that was some of the best I've ever had and checked out another pretty viewpoint. We then headed over to this temple, and it was massive, but unbelievably beautiful. We then headed out to get some lunch and stopped at this random place we found along the way. We ordered way too much food, but it was still delicious. We then headed into this market to look for this mochi. Apparently, it's a really famous spot, and I can see why, because the fruit is so juicy and the mochi is super soft. Afterwards, our sightseeing continued, and we got to see these really beautiful pools. Unfortunately, they were closed due to I don't know what, but that's okay. Then we went to go see this waterfall, and the sun was starting to set, so it made everything look really pretty. We headed back towards town, tried Mom's Touch, and then grabbed some bingsu to end the night. It was starting to get really cold. The next morning, we headed straight to this orange picking cafe that I believe is really popular. We checked out their cafe and ordered some things to try, and we got a cheesecake, sorbet, and juice. I think the cheesecake was definitely the best thing. We didn't do the orange picking, so we just took some pictures and headed out. We stopped back in town to do some shopping and thrifting and grabbed many snacks along the way. These fried rice cakes and sausages were so good. And then as a final stop of our Jeju's trip, of course, we had to go get some more matcha. I got a matcha latte with matcha ice cream, and my boyfriend just got a plain matcha no milk because he discovered this cotton candy milk and he insisted on mixing it. It was fine. But then it was time to drop off the car and say bye to Jeju. I will be back one day. Bye, Jeju.